Ahmad Shuja Jamal is the Director of External Affairs at Afghanistan's National Security Council, and he joins us now from Kabul. Good to have you on the program with us. The Ministry of Interior has released footage of Afghan special forces saying the city of Qala-e-Naw has been cleared of Taliban and heavy casualties have been inflicted on the Taliban. Is this a strategic area, and how much of a blow is this to the Taliban?
Well, thank you for having me on this show. It's important for us to discuss the issue. It's very timely. I think Qala-e-Naw is an important western province. The capital of the important western province of Badghis. The Taliban had actually pledged that they would not encroach into provincial centers, but as is evident from their strategy of outright military takeover, instead of even pretending to be interested in peace negotiations and a political settlement, they're now also trying to enter into provincial capitals, but they were repelled forcefully, and they were. I think it's an indication of what's going to come to the Taliban should they choose to enter provincial capitals in contravention to their promises and in contravention to their pretense for making peace through political settlement.
We have, though, seen the Taliban make rapid advances in the country as U.S. and NATO forces leave and are thought to be in control of a third of the country. How have they been able to make so much gains recently?
Look, the Taliban have been claiming for many years now that they control up to 70% of the Afghan landmass, the area, the country. But obviously, a lot of those claims are inflated. In some of the cases, in recent weeks, we have actually chosen to relocate checkpoints that were encroached, that were besieged, and they all only relied on air supply. So we've actually taken vulnerable checkpoints, taken to safer areas to free up air power so we could actually concentrate on hitting the Taliban where they are making military moves. So some of it is really because of that. The other is for us, for the Taliban, because they're pursuing an outright military takeover strategy, which we are now beginning to organize around and to sort of repel them. And you saw what happened to the Taliban military efforts in Badghis.
After 20 years, we're seeing U.S. and NATO troops withdraw. This is something that was not a surprise. It's been discussed for a long time. But the U.S. troops left in the dead of night a few days ago. Was the Afghan security forces still caught off guard by this? Look,
the transition, so-called, has been going on since at least 2011, when President Obama's surge of 30,000+ American troops started receding around 2011. The Afghan forces actually started taking over full military command in terms of the kinetic operations in 2014. And in early this year, in fact, since February of 2020, when the US-Taliban deal happened, we have been conducting more than 94 to 96% of all of our operations completely independently, from the planning to the execution to the post-operational assessment. And so a lot of this has been a process. The ANDSF has routinely been underestimated, but I think we've shown since at least 2011, which is approximately 10 years now, that we have been taking increasing control and command, and what is happening really is just a rebalancing of the operational theater as the U.S. air cover recedes and the Afghan Air Force begins to take their efforts. There has been ongoing cooperation between the Afghan government, but also our Resolute Support Mission partners, the U.S. partners. We are in a very close coordination from the president's level to the national security advisor's level to my level to the military commander's level, and so to say that this was something that was unexpected, I think is a gross over-exaggeration of what happened.
Mm-hmm. So are Afghan security forces prepared to assume security and protection in the country once the withdrawal of foreign forces is complete?
As I said, we've been preparing to assume control since 2011, when President Obama's surge, announced in 2009, started receding. Initially, we started taking control of PRTs, so-called. These are the provincial reconstruction teams that hosted the troops of a particular NATO member state nation, Australia, which is not a NATO member, but a major ally, Canada, the US, and others. And so we've been progressively taking over. 2014 was the year when the US, but also the international partners, ended their combat mission. counterinsurgency mission ended as far back as 2014, and we've been taking over the counterinsurgency mission since then. In 2020, last February was when the US started making peace with the Taliban. They struck the deal, and we've been doing it completely on our own since then. And so to say that we're ready, I think is correct. There is going to be some time required as the battlefield dynamics rebalance themselves, as we redistribute air resources and also foot soldiers and commands into different places, even as we're countering a full takeover military strategy from the Taliban. So things are going to rebalance themselves fairly soon.
All right, let's leave it there. Ahmad Shuja Jamal joining us from Kabul. Thank you.